25, wow. I hit 26 on this little, no way that this little e-bike will hit 26 miles an hour. Woo! I'm not jumping any curbs on this thing. This is a mini e-bike that's like for someone that maybe doesn't want to do like an e-scooter and maybe an e-bike might be too much to them, or they just want to get a very affordable option for an e-bike. This is what you want. Trust me, this thing is a blast to ride around on. You just kind of like zip around everywhere on this thing. So what I'm going to do in this video is I'm going to go ahead and start back here at the back tire and just kind of work my way through the components and how it's kind of built and everything. And then what I'll do is go over and do some on-trail testing of some speed and kind of like overall riding of the thing. So yeah, let's get to the walkthrough now. So first off, let me start with the specs of this thing. So rider recommended height is anywhere from below 5 foot to above 6 foot. I'm 5'11", and I seem to fit very well on this thing. You know, it is a little low because it is a low, but you can lift these up and lift that up, and I think it works fine for me. So the motor on this thing is a 400 watt 48 volt motor, hub motor, which is kind of crazy because this is small of a bike. A 400 watt motor on this small of a bike seems to do everything that you need to. It is a single speed drive, so it's single speed, and to tighten it up, you're just going to tighten that up right there. You can see, you know, the chain came out of the box pretty tight, but all you got to do is loosen that bolt and then loosen that one, and you're good to go as far as like adjusting it. The battery on this thing is a removable battery. You can take this battery off, and it's a 48 volt 15 amp hour, but looking at the side, it is not a 15 amp hour. It is a 12 amp hour battery. So the claimed range on this thing is around about 20 to 30 miles, and that seems about right to me. Max capacity, weight capacity on this thing is 260 pounds of weight, which is a lot, you know. And this thing does need two keys. It needs a key for here and a key for here to take one to take the battery out and one to start it, but you don't always have to take the battery out. Charging time seems to be about 4 to 5 hours. Let me go ahead and start to walk through, starting back here at the back tire and just kind of work my way through on the components. It's got both rear and front fenders, so plastic fenders on that. This one has a little reflector on it, and this thing actually out of the box came almost fully assembled. All I had to do was put the seat on, the pedals on, and the handlebars, and I was good to go. And I had to charge the battery and drop it in. 160 millimeters front and back mechanical disc brakes seem to work fine. This bike is very light and it doesn't go that fast, so you don't need like hydraulic brakes on the bike this size. Has a little mini kickstand set right there. The battery goes down in right here. To take this battery out, you're going to use a key. You'll turn the key, this slides out, lift the seat up like that, and then you can slide it out and get the battery in and out, take it inside, and you're going to charge it. Right there is where you charge it. So a little charge port right there. Seat on this thing, this is where it falls short. I was not a fan of this seat. I did already purchase me a new seat, and I'm going to put that seat on there. I will throw a picture of my new seat up on the camera now. But this seat is very flexible back here at the back. They could have definitely made this seat better. It's very flexible in the back. You know what? It works for what it is. For the price range, this seat is adequate, but I would recommend upgrading your seat almost immediately. Very cool that they have a little rack back here in the back. So this little rack is like not really for a passenger, but my guess is you could put a small child on this and ride back here with some foot pedals, with some foot pegs. I think that'd be funny. This is a tail light with turn signals, brake light, tail light, and turn signals. Absolutely amazing. And the turn signal switch is up there on the handlebars, and I will get to that here in a minute. Moving on forward, you know, the cable management is kind of like wrapped in this kind of like coating right here. Looks good. I mean, considering the price range of this thing, I am absolutely shocked how well this thing works. Speaking of shocked, look at this. This has a front and mid shock. So this shock is actually adjustable, and you know what? It actually works. I have been really impressed that this thing is full suspension. Watch when you mash down on it right here, and to tighten it and loosen it, you're just gonna screw this right here and turn it like that. Has front shocks on it. These little reflectors you will have to put on. Headlight, but I went ahead and got my own headlight and put on there. This bottle and bottle holder is not on here. This is mine. It just taps right into the frame. It screws in. Very handy right here, but one thing you will find out, you're gonna need a small bottle. See the size of this bottle? You're gonna need a small bottle to get it in and out, because you can't go that way and can't go that way. Or a bottle that clips straight down like that. So that's your two options on that. This is a carrying handle. This thing is very light. I would say this thing probably weighs maybe 40, 50 pounds at most with the battery in there. Once it's all folded down, it's very small. It'll fit in a trunk of a car, a van, or a back seat or something like that. Really cool how small you can get this thing down to. Moving on up here to the handlebar area, number one, you get a little key right here. So, you know, that's very good that you can have a key where it doesn't get stolen. And to turn it on, you just turn it on like that. And I don't know if you can see it in the camera, but as soon as you turn it on, you get a small little battery thing right here. You get E, B, and then F and E. I get it. This display is almost non-existent for an e-bike, but for the price range, I think that works just fine. When it goes up, that tells your power, and then your battery will go down. You just kind of have to know when your battery's starting getting low, because the battery percentage on here is not the best, but you know what? It works for me. You kind of know when you're running out of battery on this thing. This is the front brake. By the way, they do have motor shut off, so you can see this is more like a European standard. Front on the right, and the left is the back brake. So remember that. You'll kind of get used to it. I use both brakes all the time when I'm braking anyway, so it's not that big a deal. Over here is the little slider switch that turns the headlight on, and the headlight, it turns on both the headlight and the tail light, so both of them are on at the same time. But this is what's cool. There's your left turn signal, and let's see if you can see it in the camera there. I don't know if you can see it. There's a right turn signal on this thing, and then go over the left turn signal. Very cool. That is awesome. Not many, a bike in this price range with left and right turn signals, really cool. You get a horn. Listen to this horn, everybody. That's one of the loudest horns on a bike that I've seen. And it's funny, I've got bikes that are like way bigger than this, fat tire e-bikes, and they have like a little wimpy horn. They went bigger with the horn than they did the bike, that's for sure. So yeah, everybody, there's the full specs and walkthrough of this thing. Let me go ahead and do some on-trail riding of this thing, where I'll go over the speed and kind of like the modes. You know, there's just normal pedal assist, and throttle. I'll go through all three. Then we'll see a top speed on this thing, because I think you're going to be impressed by this whole 400-watt motor. So let's get to the trail now. Okay, here we go. So I put my Vic Seed fold holder on there. By the way, this does not come with it, but I recommend it. You can lock it right back here. I have the speedometer ready. Kick the kickstand up and turn it on right there, and we are off. So we're in this little parking lot right here, and it seems to handle this. That suspension seems to work pretty good on these bumpiness right here. Let's get up here on the road. That's crazy that there's full suspension on a bike of this price range. The pedals need upgrading. Not a big fan of those pedals. So the first thing that I'm going to do, I'm going to use it just as a regular bike. The key is off. To be a little single speed bike, that's pretty impressive that I can get up to 13 miles per hour on this thing. I wish it did have a speedometer, but once again, this is a price point bike. So there's a lot of things that you're not going to see, but with your phone, 99% of the time you got your phone on you. Get a phone holder and you don't need to worry about the speed on this thing. Okay, now let's try it with pedal assist. So this is pedal assist. And by the way, it's just one setting. There's no multiple settings on this thing. So you're just in pedal assist all the time. It's pretty, like when you're on flat ground like this thing is effortless pedaling, and it's a cadence sensor, so it just goes. I'm just barely moving my legs right now, and it holds. I'm 185, and it's got me at 17 miles per hour. That little 400-watt motor back there is really doing its job. What's the fastest? So the fastest, if I pedal as hard as I start ghost pedaling at 16. Let's see. This is throttle, so throttle only up this incline. 14. Wow, it's actually, this is not a super, like, this is not a big grade of incline, but that's holding me. Throttle only, that's working great, everybody. And this thing is so fun to just kind of like zip around the trails like this. It's got a very short handlebar base on it, so you need to like remember to lean like you do a scooter, like this, and not turn, because when you turn, it gets very wobbly, just like a small scooter would. Because this is it feels like a e-scooter meets an e-bike. Let's try the stopping right here and turn. Yeah, well, those definitely will lock up on you. Let's get it going. Let's try these brakes out again. Look at that skid mark, everybody. Woo! So these brakes will lock up. You can lock that back brake up, but I can tell you, you definitely need to upgrade the seat. Oh, I love how fast you can turn it around. Just put your foot down and then turn it around. That horn is loud. Okay, a little bit of an incline. You can see it dropped. I hit 26 miles an hour on that downhill. Small but powerful. That's what I'm calling this thing. Yeah, so between the three modes, it seems like 15 to 20 is about the sweet spot on this thing. It seems like I can hold it there. All the controls are nicely at the fingertips here. I can turn things, I can turn it on and off very easily. Water bottle's accessible right here, but like I said, you need one that clips on or a small one like mine here that you can pull out like that, because it's hard to get this thing in and out of there because of the design of this frame right here. But overall, I'm very impressed with this thing. I recommend this little bike. I think it's a great option for anybody that's just wanting a small kind of mini e-bike that is the hybrid of an e-scooter meets an e-bike. And it seems like if you don't want to go full throttle, you could just go like barely half throttle and it'll hold 4 to 5 miles an hour. And you can kind of put your feet down because it's so small and just kind of like push it with your feet. But you can see right here, my average speed's been 11 and my top speed's been 26, which is unbelievable on a bike of this size. So yeah, I will leave link below where you can pick up anything in this video, whether it's the bike or the gear that I'm using right here. So yeah, there it is, everybody. That's all I got today on the 14-inch mini. Next video.